And with more on that, joining us live is the Foundation for Defence of Democracy's Iran program Senior Director, Behnam Taleblu. Behnam, thank you very much for joining us. Yes, so we know that there's going to be a meeting taking place Tuesday, your time, with Donald Trump. Can you talk us through what we are expecting there, first of all?
Sure, it's a pleasure to be with you again, Janie. This is going to be a critical meeting to determine how President Trump plans to enforce, if at all, the popularly called red line that he drew first on Truth Social and then later several times in the press with respect to the regime cracking down on Iranian protesters. Previously, he called the reported deaths a stampede. Up to now, there is at least a reported 2,000 killed, particularly under the three-day internet blackout. Mind you, we are in now day 15 of the Iran nationwide protests. The president's options range from political to economic to military. The big X factor for the president will be, does he choose to go kinetic or not? And will he choose to go overt or not? And there he has to worry about potential escalation pathways, because today regime officials have talked about striking U.S. vessels, as well as even Israel, if there is a military strike against them, allegedly in support of the protests.
And there has been concern over the 3 nuclear sites in Iran that they may not have been fully destroyed in the airstrikes that took place in June by the US. There's new satellite imagery out. What information do you see regarding, is it those 3 sites or other areas?
Sure. So when President Trump did Operation Midnight Hammer in late June during the 12-day war between Iran and Israel, we can say with confidence he took out the regime's crown jewel of its nuclear apparatus, which is why one thing that the West has feared for quite some time is not happening today, meaning a rush to enrich uranium to weapons grade, because we assume that the regime is not enriching uranium at the declared uranium enrichment sites. But the regime is trying to, quote unquote, build back better. It's trying to get into position with the previous weaponization site, Taleblu 2. There's satellite imagery that confirms that, particularly from the Institute for Science and International Security. They seem to be building something like a large explosive container vessel. Similarly, at a site that was struck by the US, Natanz, that has 2 sites, an above ground and a below ground, at the pilot fuel enrichment plant, there does seem to be some tunneling there. So one wonders, is the regime trying to get at something that was entombed or buried underground, assumedly uranium or assumedly centrifuges, while these protests are ongoing? And all of this is to say, lest we forget, the Islamic Republic of Iran is not just a human rights challenge. It's not just a terrorism challenge. It's not just a nuclear challenge. It's all of the above.
And talk us through the protests. I mean, how big are they compared to other years, perhaps in 2022, for example?
Sure. So I would say we are past the point of assessing the protest through volume. Qualitatively, 15 days of protests that have touched every single one of Iran's 31 provinces, at least 100 different cities, towns, and villages, if not a lot more, as well as a 3.5-day internet blackout, is a game changer. And particularly because it comes against the backdrop of the regime's successive failures and defeats, be it at home or abroad, throughout 2025. These are environmental, economic, political, and even military. So the population has simply had it. And what we're seeing now is the latest installation of a movie we've been seeing from 2017, which is a nationwide anti-regime uprising and the bravery of the Iranian people using every available opportunity to protest. And the regime is trying to kill them, quite literally, under the cover of internet darkness. So I would say this is the most significant challenge to the state from the street that we have seen in the 46-year history of the Islamic Republic.